Lady Vols take on Florida in Gainesville. And Lady Vols came out on the right side of the scoreboard, but this game,
Oh, they were testing my patience in that first half, brother.
they sure were. It was not easy to watch at times. I mean, Florida outscored Tennessee 16-12 in the first, 21-16 in the second, a 9-point halftime deficit. But then the Lady Vols. How about this third quarter, man? 37 points scored in one quarter.
I mean, that you look like a top 10 team in the nation for that third quarter. I mean, that was amazing basketball. You were down by, I think, like 9.5. I mean, it was not looking pretty against a Florida team. Like, let's be honest, just not really that great of a season this far. I mean, sure, they've got some athletes, they got some young talent for sure, but like, I mean, Lady Vols to have the games that they've had. I mean, think about it: 6 losses, and 5 of their 6 losses came against top 10 opponents. They've beaten the number 5 ranked team in UConn, and their only bad loss, I would say, is to Vanderbilt by 1 point, I believe. So to show up like they did against Florida, I think maybe not necessarily looking ahead, but maybe they just kind of thought this would be easy picking. They'll be able to do whatever they wanted to. Probably weren't locked in to start this game, but I'll tell you what, I got to credit the coaching staff and the players, the way they came out at a halftime. That shows me that they are able to make those adjustments and maybe a tight game. And maybe they can see some things that they like on film, and they can go ahead and adjust that at halftime. They came out in that third quarter and was just rolling, man. I think in the first half they only hit 3 threes, and they came out in the second half, hit 7. They looked really good. I was very impressed. Now, wish they would have finished the game a little bit better than they did, but overall, they still came away with an 8-point victory.
Yeah, they did. I didn't get to watch all of this game. Had a meal after church today, so I was kind of checking the scoreboard a little bit on ESPN. Watched a little bit of the game in between church services, but yeah, this is a game where every single player for Tennessee that touched the floor did score the basketball.
Oh yeah.
And once again, the bench points. That's the difference in the game. As Tennessee 28 bench points in this game to Florida's 5. It's insane when you can get that kind of production from your bench, and the opposing team is not able to get that. And I think that third quarter, 37-20, like I said, didn't get to watch that third quarter much, but I think the defense really picked up. They finally wore down Florida a little bit, and it started hitting shots like Skylar said. I mean, you only had 3 at halftime from the 3-point line, end up with 10 total, knocked down 7 in the second half. Really just came alive in the second half of this game. But a key that I saw in the first half is Tennessee got into foul trouble. You had 5 total ladies on this team with 2 fouls apiece. Florida at halftime, I think, had already attempted like 18 free throws, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was ugly. Talaysia Cooper, I mean, to your point, I think set almost nearly half, if not more than half, the first half, just because she picked up 2 fouls pretty early. So yeah, you're 100% spot on that. Another thing that kind of pointed out to me, like this game, they shot 10 threes, and it wasn't even like 3-point shooters that were getting it done. Jewel Spear only had 1. Sarah Puckett only had 1. Tess Darby only had 1 3. So they combined for 3 threes. You actually seen the threes coming from Alyssa Latham, who went 2 for 4 from deep. You had Samara Spencer 2 for 5, Talaysia Cooper 2 for 7. Z Spearman actually hit 1 herself, but 1 for 5. I do feel like maybe some of us took a little bit too many shots, but I don't mind the 3-point shooters that are in there really just to shoot the 3, maybe getting some more shots. But overall, I think they shot a healthy amount, in 29. Florida, I think you kind of benefited a little bit. I think maybe defense played a role in it, but 2 of 17 from 3. Not a good night from Florida behind the arc. But I got to credit Florida's defense, man. I know they gave up 86 points. I think it was a bad third quarter, but that first half and really a lot of the fourth quarter, they kind of swarmed the Lady Vols, kind of like what you would like to see us to do to them. And we did get to that point at some point, in that game, especially third quarter. But Florida's defense probably looked better than they have most of the season. I thought they came out swinging. Obviously, they're trying to protect home court, but overall, the Lady Vols were able to persevere.
Yeah, I think the end of the broadcast of the game, because I caught the final 3 minutes of the game after church.
Yeah.
They were saying that for 75% of this game, Florida played their best game of the season. They played very well defensively, offensively, all the way around. But that third quarter, that's all it was. I mean, Tennessee in the third quarter nearly doubled up Florida, 37-20.
Yeah.
That's unheard of for one quarter of basketball. That's 10 minutes. You're almost scoring 4 points a minute.
And we know all too often what it's like to play really good 3 quarters and not play that fourth quarter, wherever that fourth, whether it's the first or the second, to play a complete game is something we've been begging all of our athletics to be able to do. Because it more times than not will bite you. And for the Gators in this game, I do think they outplayed the Lady Vols in 3 of the 4 quarters, but they just had such an abysmal third quarter that the Lady Vols took advantage of that. So, again, though, Talasia Cooper is your high scorer in this game. Z Spearman was 16. Overall, I believe that Sam Spencer was 11. You had 4 Lady Vols in double figs as Jewel Spear got 10. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You got 5. Ruby Whitehorn, who didn't start this game, got 10 off the bench. That's what you like to see. So Tess Darby got the start over Ruby Whitehorn, I believe. So, but overall, man, just another solid game to finish the week. And you went 2-0. I think the Lady Vols now have won 6 of the last 7. So they're on a roll here.